These are just a few things that I wish I knew before starting IVF. First things first, what I wish I knew before I started IVF is that IVF is so hard. It is not only hard on your body, but it is very, very hard on your mental, on your mind. To be honest, the physical part, like at this point, doing injections is pretty easy to me. Like I really don't bat an eye about doing injections. Getting results is tough sometimes, getting all your numbers back, attrition rates, things not working out the way you thought it was going to. And then even when things do work out the way you think it's going to, like there's no real way of predicting what you're gonna get. So your mind is constantly wrecking itself about the possibilities. If you're doing IVF by yourself or you're doing IVF with a partner, I highly suggest having someone that can be emotionally available for you, because it's tough. It's tough on you and it's tough on your partner. It's tough for everybody involved. So it's just really important to remember to give yourself a lot of grace. Your partner also needs to give you a lot of grace. I've had moments where I started on a birth control regimen in preparations for a round of IVF, and I literally picked a fight with my husband over nothing, cried myself to sleep, and I woke up and I was like, what in the world is happening? Like, that is just so out of character for me. And he was very, gave me a lot of grace about it, but it's those things. You're flooding your body with hormones, you're flooding your mind with just a bunch of possibilities, and so it's really, really hard. So grace is super important. Second thing I wish I knew before starting IVF is that it is not guaranteed to work. And as horrible as that sounds, that is the truth. You think that, because you pay $18,000, $20,000 for an IVF cycle, that it better work. The sad reality is it's not guaranteed to work. I mean, speaking from personal experience, my husband and I have done multiple egg retrievals and transfers, and we don't have a baby. So it's not guaranteed to work. If you're going to do it, put your all in, but just know that mentally prepare yourself, and financially, if you can, that, it might take more than one go. Another thing I wish I knew before I started IVF was that you can share with people and you can tell people, but unless they've been through it themselves, they can't get it. And you want them to be able to get it so bad because you want empathy. Like, you want them to feel for you. You want support. That's what you're looking for when you tell other people. You're looking for support. And they can only give you so much of that support if they haven't been through it themselves. And even for some people that have been through it and they've had a successful time, or they're on the other side, whatever that means, of IVF, they forget all about it sometimes. Like, I was talking to a nurse and she was taking my IV out, and she told me, she goes, oh yeah, like, I'm so sorry you guys have to do IVF. Like, my husband and I also had to do it, but it's so worth it. We have a beautiful baby boy and it's so worth it. And I was like, that's really good to know, because it, sometimes it's challenging to remember that. And she goes, and to be honest, like, you forget all about it. And I said, I am coming to realize that sometimes, that when I talk to people who have done this before and are on the other side, they have no idea what I'm talking about. It's like, I don't know if it's your body's trauma response, like response to trauma, by just forgetting every terrible thing that happened that concludes with IVF. But sometimes people forget. It's nice to want to confide in people, but it's really important to confide in people that get it, preferably people that are currently going through what you're going through right now, whether that's, your friends that happen to be doing IVF, or finding some sort of online support group. There are tons of Facebook pages, Reddit pages, all kinds of support groups of people that are going through this same thing that we all are here. So it's easier to confide in people that actually understand. And it's nice, the people that want to understand, but like I said, at the end of the day, unless they've been through it, they just can't understand. Another thing I wish I knew before starting IVF is that date nights, or, if your friends are really important to you, if you're married or you have a partner, those dedicated nights together are super important. Super important to keep your relationship strong and healthy during this time. Super important to make you feel a little bit special during this time. It's a hard time for everybody, like I said, and dedicating nights for date night during an IVF process can honestly shift your mood at least. And in this kind of thing, you know, you can only control what you can control, and your mood is one of those things you can't control. So I definitely recommend upping the date nights during an IVF cycle, and even after an IVF, like freshly after an IVF cycle, just to be able to reconnect with your significant other, and it's good for the relationship. Also, another thing I wanted to get to that relates to telling and confiding in people is that sometimes it's better just to keep it between you and your partner, or if it's just you and a close friend, because the more people that you tell, the more people that are going to expect an update. They want an update, good or bad. And so I always tell people, like, tell the people that you wouldn't mind telling even if everything went south. Because sometimes it does. And sometimes it doesn't. But having a bunch of people to to update after a poor IVF cycle is not it. I remember our very first cycle, my husband and I told not a lot of people, but a good handful of people. And then that cycle was a complete bust. Like, I ended up ovulating all of my eggs on, like, during the procedure, so they didn't get very many at all. And then since we told all those people that we were having an egg retrieval, of course, you know, that night and the next day, everybody was texting us, oh, hey, how did it go? How did it go? How did it go? And my husband and I were devastated because we didn't get anywhere close to what we thought or hoped we were going to get. So just keep that in mind. The more people that you tell, the more people are going to want an update. Those are just a few things that I wish I knew before starting an IVF cycle, and now I'm happy that you know before starting your IVF cycle.